Hey everybody, Dan Hellman here, and welcome to this edition of the H3 video blog. This video blog is on that powerful infant development exercise called the inchworm. I know I did this exercise before, but I think it's important to revisit it because it is a mainstay here at our H3 facility for our client programs. I hope you all read the accompanied blog with this particular video, because what I would like to do is spend most of the time demonstrating this extremely powerful exercise. Now, when you do the inchworm, you can do the inchworm in supine, lying on your back, or you can do it in prone, lying on your stomach. You can go up the mat and you can go down the mat. The key with this exercise is to do it fluidically. Remember, the human spine is 7 cervical, 12 thoracic, and 5 lumbar vertebra. Each vertebra, we should be able to have segmental control of it. The fitness industry seems to think that this beautiful architecture of the spine, being 7 cervical, 12 thoracic, and 5 lumbar vertebra, they seem to want to turn this architecture into one stiff bone or a column. Now, to me, that doesn't make sense. So things like planks and crunches, in my opinion, just destroy the spine and cause dysfunction. So this is the inchworm, and in my opinion, this is a true core exercise, because remember, the core is everything minus your arms, your legs, and your head. Your core houses your organs. Okay, so now we're going to go, the first thing I would suggest when you teach the inchworm is to teach the inchworm going down the mat. When we go down the mat, the tail is our lead and the head is kind of our trailer, it's our follower. So the tail is going to do a lot of the work, the head is going to follow up. When we go up the mat, the head now becomes the lead and the tail becomes the trailer. Remember, when an infant is born, it's actually a 6-limbed creature. The head is limb number 1, the tail is limb number 2. You have the dominant arm, subdominant arm, dominant leg, subdominant leg. When you put an infant in the crib and come back a little while later, it has moved. Now, it can't move via its arms and its legs because there's no myelination to the arms and legs. So how does the little creature move? Well, it moves via the head and the tail. And this is an exercise to help reintegrate the entire body through the infant development process. So again, to go down the mat, you're going to lie on your back. You're going to cross your arms. You want to place your tongue on the roof of your mouth. Your feet do not touch the floor. You're going to cross your arms. Now, to go down the mat, very simply, extend the neck and flex the thighs. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to push with your head and you're going to pull with your tail at the same time. And you're going to create this very rhythmical motion going down the mat. Again, remember, limb number 1 and limb number 2. My head is pushing, my tail is pulling. My head is pushing, my tail is pulling. And you can see I'm very easily going down the mat. Again, the key is that the head always touches the ground. If you can't get the back of your head on the ground, you can't do the inchworm properly. And you'll see I'm going into full cervical extension, and I finish with full cervical flexion by tucking my chin. And again, the thighs are flexed, the thighs are extended. The thighs are flexed, the thighs are extended, and I just get a nice little rhythm going. Okay, now I've gone down the mat. Now, the problem is coming up the mat. Coming up the mat is a bit more challenging because we really can't push with our tail. We have to roll to one side and we have to push with our buttock. Now, this is probably the most difficult part of the inchworm for most people. I'm going to demonstrate this first and then we'll talk about it. Now, to go up the mat, now remember my head is going to do the majority of the work. So my head's going to do the majority of the pulling. And I'm going to push with my buttock. But in order to push with my buttock, I have to roll slightly to one side, and then I hike my hip via pushing the other buttock into the floor, and it looks like this. And again, you see, I'm using my head quite a bit. I would say that my head and my neck are doing about 60% to 70% of the work, and my tail is doing the rest. And you can see that I'm going up the mat. And again, it's very rhythmical and very smooth. Now, again, that gets to be challenging for people. So here's a suggestion that I would have. To start with, if you need to, all you have to do is just reach your arm and pull with your head at the same time. Now, when you reach up to the ceiling, what that does is that allows you to roll onto one side of your body a little bit. If you don't need to do this part of the, if you don't need to chunk it down into this part of the exercise, don't do it. Just do the full one right off the bat. But again, the biggest mistake that people make is that they don't roll onto their side so that they can push with the buttock of the side that they roll to. Now, if I roll to my left side, the left back side of my head is contacting the ground, and I just pull with my head. I roll to the right, I pull with my head. I roll to the left, I pull with my head. I'm also pushing with my buttock on the side that I roll to. Again, if you need to chunk this motion down, all you would do is you would reach and pull, reach and pull, reach and pull, reach and pull, reach and pull. There you have, again, the very powerful inchworm. If your inchworm looks like a worm that's having a seizure, I would suggest that you descend that exercise or chunk it down to make it easier. The inchworm should be done, very fluidically. It should be done with very minimal effort. If you have any questions on this particular exercise, feel free to contact H3. You can always email us at info@hellmanholistichealth.com. You can also reach us via phone at 954-566-0585. You know our motto, it's better body, better life.